Hi, so here I am again doing another video because again the heavy targeting that has been going on, and even today I was in the kitchen cleaning up, and I heard police siren. Again, it's a sound that I've been conditioned to. It's not woo 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 woo. It's just a long whoop, right? And they were using uh, they have a new siren that they use, and this siren sends out vibration, and I felt it, right? Because it was a very deep low sound. And I was cleaning, and I just, when I heard it, I jumped, and I was going to head to the window again because I was being influenced to go out, look out the window, because they have a script that they're going to run. And again, using the police, using third person, uh, and I've said this before, using third person. Um, Shoot, I can't even remember right now, but using other people to indirectly send me subliminal message, whereas the police won't do it themselves, right? So they will show their presence, let their presence be known as, the uh, civilian perpetrator who works alongside the police, do certain things to try to send me subliminal message. And I've explained this in many videos. So like I said, I was cleaning the kitchen, and I heard whoop, and I just jumped, and I was going to head to the kitchen again. Because of the remote monitoring, being microwave, they're influencing me to like go to the window, and then they'll have people standing inside the window doing things, right, like hand signals and stuff like that, sticking their finger in the air, pinching their nose, that kind of thing, right? So I had the mindset to step away from the window, go and get my phone. And I came back into the kitchen, and I started recording. Cleaning the kitchen. Then I heard the police siren whoop. And I want to see if they're gonna be outside. Okay. So they're there waiting. I just want to see if they're gonna be outside. Okay, not the police, not the police. But when I step to the window, you'll see this older gentleman steps out of this cab, this white cab. Okay, then you're gonna see, so again, the perpetrators. They turn on their sirens, walk up. So they're standing there, and then they stick his finger in his ears. Okay, now they start walking. So they were waiting because they knew I was gonna come to the window. So let's show this again. And I want to see if they're gonna be outside. Okay. I just want to see if they're gonna be outside. So again, they turn on their sirens. So again, the use of dogs, if you've seen in my previous video, people with dogs, they'll use them to target me, to say that they're training me like a dog, and I've, to be an obedient dog, right? This is what it is that they're doing, along with other things, right? So I see this guy down there. So he sticks his finger in his ears. Okay, he sticks his fingers in his ears. Let me finger in his ears. Okay, let's go back. Okay. I'm going to pause it. Come on.
So again, they turn on their sirens. So I see this guy down there. How he stick his finger in his ears. Okay, so
I don't know if you can. There you go.
they were waiting
You
because
see,
they knew.
you did it again.
So sirens. So again, they turn on their sirens. So I see this guy
Turns,
down there.
sticks
How
his
he stick
finger in
his
his
finger in
ears.
his ears.
Right there. See that?
Okay, so
Okay.
they were waiting
So
because they knew
again,
I was gonna come to the window.
just wanted to show, what they do with the microwave frequency and the use of the police to influence you, right? To and they would have been waiting there, even if I came to the window like 10 minutes later. They still would have been waiting there, all right? Because it was only until they got the signal that I'm at the window looking down, they started to move. And you see they came and they stop with the dog, and he takes the dog off the leash, right?
And this is what they do. This is what they do. But I had the presence of mind to look at my phone and start recording. Okay. So again, the use of dogs. All right. This is what they do. You know, trying to insinuate and run some type of program of what I'm a dog. These people are just they're fucking out of their mind. How many of these police officers cheat on their wives? How many of these ministers preaching in their church cheat on their wives, sleeping with every woman in the congregation? You hear about these police officers, going into strip clubs and having sex with hookers and all this shit. But yet these motherfuckers want to tell me how I should live my life.
Right? And you know what I'm saying? It's like it's unbelievable, right? These people are the most hypocritical people, because they'll run this game on the civilian population, talking about mind control and reform a person mindset, what have you. And it's not about this though. This is just one aspect of my targeting. Okay, so they have to make it look as if they're doing something good in order for people to go along with what's going on. When the reality and the truth is that this is about destroying people's lives because they're experimenting on them, and because these individuals decides to fight back and speak out against what's being done to them. Okay, and then it's that old okey doke. They pull a fast one on you, right? Misdirect. Okay, lead you to believe one thing. So for the civilian population, they may think that they're doing something good, which is not. Okay, because I don't see them doing this to the pastors who's sleeping with the entire congregation. I don't see them doing this to their fellow police officers who have wives who are sleeping with multiple women, right? Who are arresting prostitutes having sex with them and letting them go. I don't see them doing that. Okay? But yet they want to run this game. I mean, that's the bullshit that they want people to believe. The hypocritical bullshit. And these people who are a lot of these police officers are, the majority of them are Christian. Okay, whether they're black or white, they're into religion. They belong in the churches. They're members in the churches. Okay, and because of their religious belief, they want to feel like they have more morality than everybody else. Okay, but Christianity is not the inventor of morality. Okay, understand this. Christianity is not the inventor of goodness or bad. Christianity is not the inventor of a God in the sky. Okay? Well, I shouldn't say a God in the sky, but a God. Okay? There have been many gods before Christianity, and there'll be many gods before Christianity. Okay? So when you hear, especially if you're a TI, and especially if you're a religious I mean, I just don't get it with you guys. You know, you go to church, you're being targeted in the church, and yet you talk about those are demonic spirits in the church. Well, if those are demonic spirits in the church, why the hell are you going there? What, you want to be around demonic people? So you got to think about that. And again, it's because your religious belief system that doesn't make you or allow you to think in a rational, logical manner. Okay? So, I've been on this site, Psychology Today, and I want to play this for these perpetrators out there, particularly those within the churches who want to act like they're morally superior, who want to act like they're more good than anybody else when it is the opposite. Okay? So, I'm not going to read the entire article, but this is from someone who uh, has Asperger, right? So, this person, family decided. Well, let me just read this. Okay, in the most recent post, John Elder Robinson asks why many people on the spectrum reject religion. Personally, my relationship religion has always been highly complex, as I wrote previously. When I was young, my challenges drove me to try to understand things, especially things relating to people. So I set out to study the human condition. What makes human being ticks? What were the rules of living successfully as a human being? Where do you go to get those answers? I turned to psychology and religion. The way I saw it, psychology was the means of understanding the individual and the proper means of relating to that person. How to interpret body language, the complex motivation of the psyche, why people sometimes act so illogically. On the other hand, if I wanted to understand the rules of how we are supposed to live life, it seems like that was religion's stock in trade. So I begin a study of religion as well. If psychology was the user manual for the car, then religion was the rules of the road. At 12, I vowed to read the Bible from beginning to end, and I did. By high school, I had read about I had read just about anything on religion that I could come up with. When people ask me what my hobbies were, I'll tell them foreign languages and comparative religion. Why comparative religion? Well, Aspergians are often called seekers of truth, and I considered myself as such. But how do you know the truth? Everyone else seems to believe that they know what the truth is, but yet most times their views don't agree with each other. How do you know which one is the truth? How can two opposing viewpoints both be right? So I began to look at it empirically. If I look at the whole world of data out there, read all the various scriptures, what pattern begin to show up? What were the basic truth that seems to be shared across the board, or at least by the majority of believers? The truth written in each of these scriptures have been followed by countless people over thousands of years. Given that, I had to believe that what was written in them must have some wisdom, some value, if not why the longevity. But even as I searched through the writings of the major religions, I found myself deeply disappointed in that the actual people who practice many of these religions, the guiding principle found in their holy books often seem so lacking in their actual lives. Take as a case in point my first experience with church. In fourth grade, my father first began taking me to church. Not a churchgoer himself, my grandmother had leaned upon him heavily to begin taking me. Why? I never could quite tell. She wouldn't darken the door of a church to save her life. On the other hand, she was prone to pull scriptures quotation out of her pocket at any time to settle an argument. Sometimes I never quite understand. Okay, so um, let me keep going here. So all right, let me read the entire thing. New to the area, I had become a target of the most vicious bullying I've ever experienced. In my old circles, teasing was simply not followed. In my new environment, I was not only viciously teased, but physically attacked as well. Night after night, I returned home after school and cried myself to sleep. Understand, unable to understand what I had done to deserve such brutal treatment. When my father came to tell me that we were going to start going to church, I felt lighter, hopeful. Memories of afternoons side by side with my father reading the sermons on the Mount came to mind. Surely a group of people who believe such things as blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, and love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those that curse you, would be a very kind, caring group. Maybe this would be my sanctuary from the brutality I endured every day. Imagine my shock and dismay when I discovered that two of my worst tormentors were children of deacons and elders in the church. At first I thought, well, maybe they didn't know that their children what their children were doing. If they did, they'll surely teach them better. That belief lasted until the end of the first service. As well as we all gathered for the post service reception, they started on me again in front of their parents. This wasn't going to be a haven after all. One of them, no doubt encouraged by their mother, can you imagine that, right? I talked about people in cults and how when they have bullying behavior, bullying attitude, that their children will also have the same belief and mentality of bullying, right? They will become bullied themselves. Okay, invited me to her birthday sleepover party. There, she put lipstick on my bed, ruining my brand new pajamas, a gift from my grandmother. Later, she and her friends pressured me into drinking orange juice, which was later gleefully imitated was spike with P. Wow. When I had to leave early the next morning for church, because of course, once a rule had been established in my house, it must not vary. Birthday parties did not mean a vacation from routine. They made it nearly impossible for me to leave by stealing my shoes and playing keep away with them in the front yard, knowing of course I that were I to chase after them, I'd get in trouble for ruining my tights. All this under the supervision of their fierce parents. To this day, and listen to this, to this day, and this has been my experience also, to this day, I have found very few religious people who have truly embodied the belief they espouse. And I can honestly say that many of the worst things that have ever been done to me or to people that I care about have been done by people who profess to be religious. Some in the name of religion. How can that be? Okay? So, why do I, as a person with Asperger's syndrome, have a problem with organized religion? It's best summed up by what one of my heroes, well, he's not my hero, you know, um, Mahatma Gandhi said in his experience with Christianity. I like your Christ, but I don't like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Okay? And that just assured the hypocrisy. So when again they talk about the church being involved in targeting people along with members of the church who belongs in law enforcement, and they create a cult. Okay, and in this cult, they think that they're highly morally superior to others. Okay, because they're in this group. Okay, remember again, law enforcement. You know, they're in law enforcement, so they protect their members, and that's why you see a lot of these idiots out here walking around targeting people, poisoning their food, thinking that there's no repercussion for what they're doing to an individual. And this is, I call these people poison mind. And a matter of fact, I call anyone who wholeheartedly believe in any religion, particularly the main two or the main three. I'm gonna put Scientology in there, Christianity and Islam. They have poison minds. Okay, so again, this is why I study psychology in terms of what's happening to me, because without uh, me understanding the psychological part of what was happening to me, not just the directed energy weapon experimentation, or you know the abuse from the directed energies that was happening to me. Okay, psychology play a, the biggest part in terms of discrediting and conditioning the TI, the target individual, into a negative mindset, in order to destroy the person's life and to discredit them and keep them isolated in order to continue experimenting on them and eventually uh, make them commit suicide, okay, or homelessness, to drive them out of the community and to their neighborhood and to basically get rid of them. And so again, we talk about I talk about the hypocrisy of these people who are in the churches, and if you're a target and you go to church, they're targeting you. You know that's what they do. These people breed hypocritical mindsets. Okay, they breed people who are the polar opposite of what they claim their religion is, right? And so we have to understand that the majority of people who say that they believe in religion, don't practice their religion, particularly when they say that their religion is based on being good and love and peaceful. We all know that's not true, because if you look at the history of religion, Islam, Christianity, those two in the past, they have spread their religion not by peace, okay, but by brutality, oppression, slavery, okay, and the dumbing down of the majority of people within the society, okay, by discouraging them to read and to study and to elevate their mind, okay. So again, when these people try to send these type of subliminal message, I say to them, you know, what are you doing? Okay, you're here targeting me, but I'm trying to tell me that I'm a dog, but you're cheating on your wife. If you're a pastor in the church and you're talking about morality, and you're sleeping with 4 or 5 different women, and then you have these people following you, targeting someone because you want to run this program of trying to make people into what you think is a morally acceptable person based on your religion, which you yourself don't follow. Okay, so all I gotta say is fuck out of here with that bullshit. Okay, don't come to me with those type of subliminal message. Okay, take that message and believe it yourself. Okay, don't be driving around here with your sirens, trying to have me to come out the window so you can send me subliminal message when you have two idiots out there, you know, participating in psychological harassment or psychological torture. Okay? Just spare me that bullshit. And if I want to be a dog, I'll be a dog. Fuck you. Okay? If I want to be a dog, I will be a dog. But that's not me. Okay? That is not me. So don't try to make yourself morally superior. Don't try to make yourself like, look within the community that you're that you're doing some type of thought reform to turn somebody who was a dog into uh, you know some type of um, I don't even know. Yeah, I'm sure y'all motherfuckers don't even know. And excuse my language, I don't curse that much, but this shit really pisses me off because these people are the most morally corrupt motherfuckers on this planet. Okay, and then want to try to talk to you and teach you about morality. Okay, your so-called fellow Christians, right? And this is for black people who participate in this shit. Your so-called fellow Christians, okay? These evangelical people, okay? They're a certain color. I'm not going to say it because not all, you know, people of that color are like, okay? But there's a far majority of them that are like that. And look at what they're doing, okay? We talk about the South, some of the most religious states. You know, you guys believe in the same God, right? You guys read the same Bible, right? And it's also here in New York, okay? And they know as black people, we are so religious that they can do whatever they can to us and there won't be an uproar because they have us conditioned for passivity by giving us their religion, okay? So, if you want to talk about morality, go to those motherfuckers and say, well, it's morally wrong for you to basically stop people from, not also morally, but constitutionally wrong for you to stop people from voting. And particularly when they're trying to stop black people. Okay? But you walking around here targeting me, because they have you take your eye off the ball, off the real threat. The ones who are instructing you to do this, they're the real threat. But they got you to believe that I myself and other TIs, those in the TI community, are a threat. Like, really? And y'all, dumb enough to believe it. Okay? And then here in this, they basically wiped their server from people who had registered to vote. Okay? So come on. You know, I'm dropping some truth bombs here. Okay? Don't come with me with that, religious morality bullshit because you don't believe it. Because if you believe it, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Okay? So please, please, think for once. Okay? Don't come at me with that bullshit. Okay? I'm much too enlightened, you know, to see the deception, to see what's going on. You may be able to fool the people out there, the elderly, the young people, you know, the, in between, age group, particularly the men who, because of their religion, want to feel so highly superior, to a woman, or and particularly, you know, um, they want women to bow to them and all that stuff. Okay, and then the women participate in it too, which I don't understand. But hey, you know, it's the world we live in today. It's topsy turvy. You know, the religious people are the most morally corrupt people. People who are atheists like myself have far more decency, far more kindness, far more understanding, far more knowledge of their own religion than they do. Because they like followers. They don't like people who question. And we as targets, we question things. We're able to, for the most part, some of us, okay, we're able to see through the the scripts, to see through the narrative and what they want you to think. Okay, so if you're a TI and you keep talking about this, spiritual warfare nonsense, or you want to talk about it being witchcraft and all that stuff, fine, you could believe that. But just know this, that when it comes to filing a lawsuit, you can't file a lawsuit on spiritual warfare and witchcraft and alien abduction and reptilian and all that stuff. Okay? You need to start thinking about the reality. Okay? Logically thinking about the reality and who was responsible. Okay? Let me put it to you this way. If this is spiritual warfare, fine. But say there's an evil spirit in such and such person, okay, within the government, or the government itself as an entity is an evil spirit. And when you file a lawsuit against the fire department, the police department, government agency. Don't file your lawsuit on spiritual warfare. Okay? Come on, people. You got to think. Okay? The technology being used, it's not the devil. It's not God talking to you. It's government technology based on microwave and radio wave technology and frequency. Understand this. Okay? Okay. So you guys make me I'm talking to the perps. You guys make me laugh about trying to be this morally enforcers because y'all are the most morally corrupt people. So don't come with me with that bullshit. Okay? Don't come with me with that. All right. And for the police, the next time you want to drive by down the block and blow your horn, I'm sorry, turn on your siren with the whoop, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you stay outside the window and keep doing it so I can record it? Right? You're so brave. Why don't you let me get footage of it? Right? If you're so morally superior and you're so righteous, okay, and what you're doing is so right, because if what you're doing is right, you wouldn't hide it. You wouldn't use covert psychological means to do it, right? So come on, spare me the bullshit.